All right, so the article publication process. So this will have meaning for how you find articles, what types of articles you'll be able to find versus what you won't, publication years to be aware of, that kind of thing. So the article publication process more broadly is known as scholarly communication. So this is the publication process in academia. Scientific communication is another phrase for it, because originally it was about communicating scientific discoveries amongst one another, or academics or inventors, etc., that would help inform future experiments. So if you think back to, the days of Galileo, etc., where people were writing each other letters and saying, this is what I did and this is what I found, that's the basis for scholarly communication. So it's this idea of conducting an experiment, writing down what you did, how you did it, and what the results were so that people could build on top of it and make something better. So now we use journal articles as communication instead of letters. So when someone conducts a new study or has an interesting client or reviews the state of the literature on a topic and wants to share that information with other scholars and practitioners, they write an article and they publish it in a journal. So when you're looking for a journal article on a given topic, you're necessarily hoping that someone else somewhere has conducted a study that will match what you're interested in learning about and decided to share that in a journal. So if you are interested in something and you're not finding what you're looking for, or it's not specific enough to what you're looking for, it's possible that either you might be looking in the wrong database or something along those lines, but it's also possible that just somebody hasn't written about exactly what you're looking for. You're hoping that someone out there has matched your interest, essentially. So then we get into the peer review process. So you'll often hear professors say, you need to use 5 peer-reviewed journal articles as citations in this paper. So peer review is a phrase that gets tossed around a lot. And what it means is it's the process by which an author submits an article to a journal. The journal editors send it out to volunteer academic peers, so experts in the same topic, who read it and critique it. The peer reviewers decide if it's good, if it needs revisions, or if it should be rejected. The author is informed of that decision and the critiques. The author then makes the changes if they feel that the changes are appropriate and resubmits the article. And if it's accepted with the revisions, it's then published in the journal. This whole process can take months to a year or longer. So that time lag means that the publication cycle for articles that you'll find in a database can be out of date by the time that they're published. So if you are looking for really current literature, this is something that you need to keep in mind. Particularly if you're looking for like how a recent policy that was passed at the federal level or the state level has impacted a population. You need to keep in mind that it's going to take some time for researchers to collect the data, write the article, and then there's probably a year time lag just in the peer review publication process. So when you're thinking about topics for research, that's just something to keep in mind. Recent policies or recent events, if you wanted to see the impact of a given mass shooting on gun control legislation or something like that, there won't be peer-reviewed journal articles on a given topic for a little while. So, figuring out if an article is relevant. So, looking at a database record, quote unquote, a record is what the entry in the database for every article is called. So when you click on the title of an article for more information, that's the record. You're looking at the record then. There's a lot of useful information in the record. Namely, things like the title, the authors, the publication year, and the abstract are the main things to pay attention to. So this is what one looks like. This is just a screenshot from OneSearch, which is the library's main database. It's found right on the home page. So you can see at the very top in bold, you have the title. The author's names are below that. Anything that is blue hyperlinked, you can get more information. So if you click on an author's name, you will find other articles that that author has written that can be found in OneSearch. So if there's a particular author that you'd like to, learn more about their body of work, that's one way to do it. Below that, we have things like the journal title, where it was published, keywords. So keywords can be really helpful if you found an article that you like, but you're not exactly sure how it's labeled. You want to find more articles that are similar. Looking at the keywords and what's called the subject headings can be a really great way to sort of mine that this record to inform future keyword searches in the database. And then below that, you have the abstract. It will highlight the words that I searched for, so any keywords that I looked for will be pulled in the abstract in bold, as well as in the keywords. So that's a handy way to sort of quickly see if all the keywords that you searched for are coming up in the abstract to gauge how relevant it is. So looking at the abstract a little more closely, you can see that I looked for things like disabilities and employment. Those words appear pretty frequently in the abstract, so I would read through the abstract to get a sense of the methods. So what kind of article is this? Is it an opinion piece? Is it somebody doing a literature review on the state of employment for people with disabilities? Or is it a study where they took a given population, gave some people an intervention and didn't give the intervention to other people, and then measured the outcomes?